Hello, what's up everyone, hope you're all doing well. So we are going to start off by hiding our eyebrows. I'm just using a normal glue stick and you want to get them as flat and as smooth as possible. I'm going to grab a bunch of polystyrene balls and I'm going to cut them in half, and I have two different sizes here. I've also taken some concealer and just hidden my brows. Next, I'm taking some liquid latex and I'm just going to stick the eyes on. By the way, all the products will be listed in the description box below. If it makes it any easier, you can get a pencil and mark out where you want to place them first, that's absolutely fine. Next, I'm grabbing the Kryolan Supracolour in white, which is like a cream paint, and I'm just literally going to paint the basic shape and just get the base down. I'm not worrying about details too much at this point, it's just literally filling it in white. You can use any paint, water-based or cream paints. I just like to use cream paint when putting eyeshadow on because the eyeshadow sticks a lot better and I think it just has a stronger pigment. I'm sketching out the lines of the bottom half. Excuse me. Let me try that again. So grabbing an eyebrow pencil, I'm just going to sketch out these shapes that I want on the bottom half of my face. So as you can see, the fangs are starting to appear. Next, I'm going to apply some foundation to the rest of the bottom half of my face. Next, grabbing the Helene Cosmetics Neon pigments, or whatever pigments you may have, you want to apply this to your forehead area. And as you can see, I'm creating lines going towards my nose, I guess you could say, or towards the center, in between my eyebrows area. So you just want to build it up, take your time, and eventually you will begin to look like the neon spider of your dreams. Now I'm just grabbing some purple and a fine brush and I'm going to create these lines on the centre of my forehead. Next, very simple, I'm just going to paint the eyeballs in black, and then I'm going in with a white and I'm going to create reflections. I'm creating the white so it fades into the black and trying to create the illusion that these balls are smooth and shiny. So I'm just continuing on details like the neon colours and the purple lines, and I've also gone in with some black and lined the purple lines to sharpen them up. For the fangs, very simple, I'm just grabbing a fine brush and I'm just going to outline the shape, and then I'm just going in with some white and I'm creating the reflections, and I'm trying to create the illusion that these pieces or these fangs are really smooth and shiny, and you just kind of want to get the brush and slightly blend the black and the white together, but not too much. So like blend it, but don't blend it too much. And then I'm just grabbing some black and I'm just going to simply fill in my lips. I'm overlining these a little bit just to make them a little bit more juicy. And I'm also applying some lines coming from the corners of my mouth. Mouths don't have corners, but you know what I mean. So moving on, I'm just going to speed it up so you can watch the process, but I'm going in with a fine brush and some brown, and I'm going to start to create the skin that the fangs are coming out of. I'm also adding shadow underneath the fangs to make them look like they're popping out in the more 3D. And then once you've got the brown down, then just go in with a small amount of black to add even more depth. For this bit, I'd say a little amount of product goes a long way. And then I'm going in with some white. I'm using a cream paint because I think it's so much easier to blend out a little bit, but I'm just applying this onto the raised areas of the fangs to create highlight and make it look even more 3D. And then as you can see, I'm going in with a normal brush and then an eyeshadow brush. The normal brush is just to basically apply the product, and then the eyeshadow brush is to diffuse the white out. If you left the lines more sharp, this is going to look more cartoon, but if you blend out the lines slightly, then this will look more realistic. Then I'm just grabbing some brown and I'm just going to attempt to contour the tiny bit of my face that is left. Now we're going to pretend that we have a super cut, super sharp jawline. So I'm grabbing some black and I'm just going to apply this really heavily. Moving on to the chest, I'm actually using the NYX Jumbo pencil in milk to create the eyeball. I'm just going to sketch the rough shape of the circle, and then I'm creating white lines coming from the eyeball, and I'm trying to make the lines neat and symmetrical. The lines are roughly around 1 cm to 1.5 cm wide. And then I'm just going to create the webs in between the lines. Moving on to the really fun and satisfying parts, I'm grabbing the same pigments and I'm going to be applying these on the lines. I'm packing on the pigment and applying them as close as I can get to colour order. I'm blending the colours into each other quite softly so they look like they're transitioning smooth. Grabbing some eyeliner and using the NYX Epic Ink Liner, or you can use a face paint, you just want to outline the lines. Moving on, I'm applying eyeshadow to the face underneath the white area. This is going to make it look a lot more 3D. I'm taking a fine eyeshadow brush and I'm just applying some black as close to the edge as possible, and then I'm going in with a wider brush and some brown and I'm fanning out the edges. You want to get the deepest colour towards the edge and for it to blend out as it goes away. The same technique that I used on my fangs, I'm just going to do on the edge of my jawline, and I've done it on my chin and the tip of my nose as well. I'm just going to go ahead and paint an extra pair of eyes because I didn't have any polystyrene balls that were small. I'm just going to try and match them to my other eyes as close as possible and create the illusion that they are dome shaped. Here I'm just adding extra shadows and details to the face. Moving back onto the chest, I'm just going to paint the iris in blue. I'm not worrying about details, I'm just getting the base colour down. And then I'm going in with some black and I'm just going to outline the circle. And then going in with some white, I'm going to create the texture of the iris. I'm going in with some deep red just to give it a bit more realism and make it look a bit more dirty almost. And then I'm going in with a fine brush and I'm outlining the eyeball. Using exactly the same technique that you did on your face, you want to shade underneath the eyeball to really bring it out and make it look 3D. Next, I'm taking the NYX Sugar Trip Squad palette and I'm going in with the red and I'm going to really intensify the bloodshot areas. Then just going in with a red fine brush, I'm just going to create some veins. Apply your contact lenses and you're using the Mesmerize Black Slera. And then I'm just touching up on final details on the face. I'm just creating lines above my eyes, I'm adding small purple lines and then decided to intensify some of the shadows. For the cherry on top of the cake, I will be applying a tiny bit of blood coming out my nose to make it look like I'm having a nosebleed. Thank you so much for watching my video. I really hope you found it helpful and that you enjoyed it. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and also feel free to hit the subscribe button. Also feel free to follow me on Instagram at Spectrum, I'd really appreciate it. And finally, I will see you next time.